Imagine a moment where a simple insult leads to a catastrophic end. An older man is walking up a steep hill. He's alone, he's tired, and he's vulnerable. A crowd emerges from the city gates of Bethel. They start to chant, "Go up, you Baldhead! Go up, you Baldhead!" It sounds like typical playground bullying, doesn't it? But in the ancient world of the Prophet Elisha, this was a direct challenge to a divine office. Within moments, the laughter was silenced. 2 she-bears emerged from the woods, and 42 of those young men never returned home. Today on Controverse, we look at one of the most unsettling events in history. Was this a case of extreme ego, or is there a hidden reason for such a severe response? To understand the severity, we have to look at the location, Bethel. This wasn't just a random town. It was a stronghold of opposition. For decades, Bethel had been the center of a spiritual civil war. The people there didn't just dislike Elisha. They represented a system that stood against everything he represented. When we look at our nano-banana visuals, don't see Elisha as a man walking through a friendly neighborhood. See him as a lone figure entering enemy territory. The air was already thick with tension long before the first insult was thrown. Elisha wasn't facing a few children. He was facing a massive assembly. They weren't just commenting on his appearance. They were mocking his authority. When they shouted, "Go up," they were telling him to vanish. They were referencing his mentor, Elijah, who had recently ascended to heaven. They were essentially saying, "Why don't you follow your master and disappear? We don't want your message here." In a mob of 42 or more, the energy shifts from mocking to threatening. This was a public demonstration designed to humiliate and potentially harm the new prophet before his ministry even began. The controversy hinges on a single Hebrew word, nar. Many records call them little children, but linguistic scholars point out a massive discrepancy. This same term is used to describe soldiers, servants, and young men in their prime, like David when he faced Goliath. If we interpret these as thugs or young radicals sent by the city's elite to drive Elisha away, the story changes. It moves from a story about a mean old man to a story about a prophet standing his ground against a dangerous gang. But even then, the question remains, was the response proportional? This is where the debate in the comments always catches fire. Elisha didn't use a physical weapon. He spoke a word of judgment. The arrival of the she-bears is recorded as a sudden and final event. In ancient symbolism, the bear was a sign of God's withdrawn protection. By mocking the prophet, the city of Bethel essentially stepped outside of divine protection, and the wild nature of the land reclaimed them. The tragedy was swift. 42 were caught in the encounter. There was no negotiation, and Elisha did not look back. He continued his journey to Mount Carmel, leaving the city in absolute shock. Was this a warning to a defiant nation, or a leader using his power with a heavy hand? The text gives us the facts, but leaves the moral weight to us. This incident serves as a haunting reminder that in the ancient world, words had weight and power had consequences. What is your take on the incident at Bethel? Let's discuss it below. This is Controverse, where the truth is often darker than we remember.